Within ServiceNow, you can automate certain requests, especially by using orchestration. So I'll give you a couple examples here where I'll actually come to a service catalog to onboard a new employee, and this will automatically create the user account for an employee in Active Directory. It'll also put that person into some security groups for us as well, which can dictate what applications they'll have access to. I happen to be VPN'd into a lab environment right now where there is a domain controller, and what you can see here are existing people. We're going to onboard Libby Lichtenauer, and so we're going to make sure that she's not already in here by coming down to the else, and as you can see there was not one of those there. So let's go ahead and start this off. By the way, as we wait for this to complete, I will go ahead and also talk about other orchestration use cases. So first we'll collect a little bit of information. I could have picked somebody with a shorter name probably. And we'll just go ahead and say this person's going to be an IT technician. We're going to go ahead and put her in IT, and let's say she needs an iPhone. When we choose our options here, one of the items that you'll also see is that we have some information to collect about her account in Active Directory. So we're going to go ahead and say she's located in the Denver office. Her manager is going to be Eric Schroeder. We'll go ahead and put in a phone number for her. And we can go ahead and choose what groups that she's going to be a member of based on either this ad hoc way of doing it, or I've seen customers as well essentially say I'm going to mirror this other employee, or they'll put a different profile in there and say I want this new employee to have the same rights and accesses as this other one. When we go ahead and check out, we'll be presented with the results of our order guide, and I'll go ahead and show you the workflow as well. Now, in this particular case, we're onboarding somebody, so we're using AD Directory, Active Directory types of orchestration activities. And you can also do things like reset people's passwords, for example. You can also take actions like running scripts on other servers. You can also spin up virtual servers, for example. And you can do all kinds of exchange activities as well, like requesting a distribution list or a mailbox. And you can tie these into your onboarding. If we actually look at the workflow here, we'll go ahead and see where we are in terms of interfacing with that domain controller. So it's actually looking here for a manager approval first. So let's go ahead and make sure we take care of that. So I'll go ahead here and approve it on behalf of David. Now that it has been approved, we can refresh the workflow and see that it has advanced. We'll go ahead and give this a few moments to go ahead and complete. I'll mention very quickly a story about Flextronics. They're one of our customers. It used to take them about 2 weeks to get each contractor set up in Active Directory with the appropriate permissions and groups. And by using orchestration, they've actually reduced that onboarding time from 2 weeks down to 90 seconds. So you can imagine how much time and productivity they're saving there. You can do all kinds of logic here, like check to see if there's an existing account for this person in Active Directory first. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start adding her to those groups right away as well. Okay, excuse me. And you can also have, if something fails for some reason, you can go ahead and create a task for somebody to manually complete this work. All right, there we go. So it has gone ahead and finished. And if we come back over here into the domain controller and I tell it to refresh that list, and we go down to the L's, here we see the account for Libby. And if we drill into this, we'll see information such as her office, the telephone number. We can derive her email address. You can see her location, which is based on that Denver office I put her in. As you look at her account information, we've designated that she has to change her password at her next login. Okay, I can see what part of the organization she's in and who she reports to. Okay, and I can see that she's in the groups that I specified for her. Now, she could also come to the service catalog, or I could come to the service catalog, and maybe she has some work to do. She has to do some performance testing over the weekend, so she needs some elevated privileges in order to do that. Another example here would simply be able to do this, get an approval like we did on the first workflow, and make sure, most importantly, that we strip those rights away from her at the end. So if there's ever an audit, for example, I don't have to rely on somebody manually relying on somebody manually to take these privileges back away from her, or finding out in the course of the audit that she has more privileges than she should, because ServiceNow will go ahead and do that automatically at the end of that time frame that I just showed you there. So if we show this workflow, it's essentially reusing those same types of activities that we were using on the first workflow, but it has a timer in here to basically wait for the duration of this and then automatically strip them away. So if we go back in here, for example, and we open up Libby's account again, and we look to see who she's a member of, now you'll also see that she's a member of the database team. Okay, so orchestration is one of the ways of automating tasks to other systems such as Active Directory, VMware, Amazon, Exchange, or really any server where you can run PowerShell or SSH commands. Thank you.